Alright, so we're back for episode 2. This time we're starting at the St. Joseph Historic Catholic Cemetery. This was established in 1869. Hope you can hear me alright. We're a bit closer to the park here, as you can see down there. And we've got the groundskeeper doing his job over there. So, a tad bit louder, but it's a bit different than the first one, considering touring the graveyard and the sound of bustling life is, well, I don't want to say intrusive, but not exactly the most pleasant thing. But let's start here. This has got some statues, some really nice places that we can look at. And it has, because you saw the date here when this thing was established, there's also plenty of older places that we'd like to see. Interesting spots. I guess we'll start with Dimer. I think that's how you pronounce that, Dimer. Alright, let's get a good shot here. Alright. 2 statues there, and the grave markers are here with Josephine C. Dimer, 1911 to 1999. So, I'll be 87 years old. Here's Thomas Lee Dimer, 1914 to 1999. So just a little bit younger. This is passed just a few months later, April to August. I wonder if they were married. Here's another one, but yeah, it just seems to be a bit too worn away. I can't really make it out. Except I can make out that 1941 to 1941. That's another very unfortunate one. I think this was a person that Mary Miriam, unfortunately passed the same day. Yeah, that must have been really rough. Then we got this one up ahead. Oh, one's a very interesting stone. Lally? Laley? Not sure how you pronounce that last name. But again, these are some of the ones that you just don't see anymore. Was it Nellie is from 1865, and John is from 1860. Nellie was 80 when she passed. 1865 to 1945. There's James down there, 1902 to 1923, another very young one. Unfortunate, 21 years old. Some more on this side. Annie Robinson. Looks like it's from 1850 to 1882. Also very young. And then we have Annie Monroe, 1862 to 1875. As you can see, this stone, which seems to be marked at several people. Okay, wow, Bridget was from 1824 to 1863. And James here was from 1812 to 1900. 88. This stone, despite being quite old again, if it is old, like from the time period that these people had passed, then it's been remarkably well maintained. But it just, to me, seems like it's more recent. There's James again, 1852 to 84? And then Bridget again, 1856 to 1882. A lot of the names repeat on this one. I wonder if it was a family tradition. Here's an obelisk that is quite well worn. Can't really make out much on that one. Or this one. This one I can. Looks like it says Joanna, Life of T. Farley, born in 1832, died in 1900. Yeah, the obelisk style is very prominent, either in this one, the one we viewed yesterday, or I guess the last episode, depending on when you're watching this, if it was yesterday or not, but one I shot before this day. And there's more, as you can see in the background, especially that prominent one over there. This one looks very new. Pronounce that Bloom? Maybe. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce a lot of these, especially in the older parts, but yeah, George Robert from 1926 to 2000. And Mary Ann Peter looks like she might still be alive. She would be 90 if she is. Here's another. I wonder if this is also from a time period where you have one large stone that you put multiple names on. A family grave marker. Yeah, it's a bit more difficult to, a little bit more difficult to make out who's here. Martin Joyce, Catherine Joyce, John Joyce, Ann Joyce, or Annie Joyce. So I guess this is maybe a Joyce family? Yeah. With Bridget, Michael, Thomas, and Mary. Fleener. Another family grave marker. This one seems pretty common for family grave markers, and then some of the more individual ones laid out here. Like John K. Fleener, September 30th, 1970. I'm not entirely sure if that's the birth date and this person hasn't passed yet, or if that's the date of their passing. Patricia F. However, I'm not entirely sure. I think Patricia F. might be part of this Day family marker. Seems to be similar in pattern. And the Fleener, I think one over there is white to match the family grave marker. So I think this one might be Patricia F. Day, 1931. There's Ben Wayne Day, Sergeant U.S. Army, June 5th, 1929 to March 13th, 2002. 29, so be 16 by the time World War II ended, so maybe Korean War? Maybe Vietnam? Miss North Rosemary Day Wakefield and Daniel Francis Day Sr. 57 to 2016 and 63 to 2017 respectively. Both died in the summer. And here's the Donnelly. Parents of Francis Render Donnelly, John Edward Donnelly Jr., Barry Michael Donnelly, Thomas Arthur Donnelly. Is that Hermits? I think it says Hermits Guard or Garde Donnelly and David Joseph Donnelly. And some of the individual stones for the Donnelly family. Another Fleener over here. Just looking around, seems like there might be multiple family stones. But here's the main etchings on this one. John Edward Donnelly Sr., known as Jack. Mary Render Barry Donnelly, known as Mom. 1922 to 1995 and 1921 to 2007. Right. Here's another Donnelly stone over here, a bit older, 1917 for AD to 1980. And Helen Garvin was from 1919 to 1994. don't know if there's smoke or weirdly placed fog or something over there. Let's check out some of these statues. It's a bit over here. Rabold. That'll be Mary Baker Jones, from 1905 to 1938, quite young. Only 33. No, 32, didn't even make it his 33rd birthday, unfortunately, or she didn't. There's Robert L., 1907 to 1986, was 79. And Edna, 1915 to 1983. 68. And again, I'm not entirely sure what's up. This is spring, late spring, maybe early summer. There's been a number of trees that are in fall form, that are dropping leaves. For this time of year, it's very unusual. Most trees are not, but there's one back there. I don't know if you can see it, but maybe we can get a little closer. Also seems to be browning. So it's either just, I don't know much about trees, their life cycles, and what causes this, but it could be that they're poisoned or something's damaged them, made them unhealthy. But like I said, I don't know much about it. But I do know much about this one also is quite damaged. You can see I don't know if that's supposed to be a bell, but it looks like it was supposed to be on top there. So it's just been left here. Some other stones have been smashed and knocked over. So again, I don't know if this is just weather, happens over time. There's been some serious storms, and it just happens, or if this is an unfortunate case of vandalism. It's me talking about that restoration project that I was thinking about. Visiting some of these old grave sites. This one's so worn and weathered, it's very difficult to make out anything it's saying. It's quite old though. But here, let's see, this is a back shot, or a side shot. Back shoulder, I guess. Let's get the good shot here. It's actually a rather nice statue, despite the weathering. Hard to make out in the shade. Don't know if you can get that in the dark here a bit. See if you can make out anything here. Let me see here. Obviously it's the Fitzpatrick stone. Need to get a little bit closer just to make out Catherine, I think. Catherine Fitzpatrick died March 8th, 1880. Is that 9? Yes. Age 69 years. And one of the things about the Catholic cemetery as opposed to, I don't know if it's just general purpose cemetery or if it's more of a, religious Protestant one, but I think it's just general. But this is a specifically Catholic cemetery. There seems to be more of a, I don't want to say just more of an artistic incline, but you look at this. I mean, it lines up very well done. Stone with the cross protruding through it. See, it was breaking through it or encased, but definitely just seems to be more attention and more detail put into that. With the number of these. And then again, here's another one that, another John. Renwick? Yeah, I think. Or maybe it's Fenwick. Yeah, it looks like an F. Fenwick. John H. Fenwick. 1852 to 1906. And Julia, his wife, 1857 to 1916. So, again, quite old. quite weathered. You can see some of the damage that's been done. This should be Fenwick marker. So this one is pointed inward. I wonder if this road or a road leading there has always been here. Maybe it was dirt or just a path before when this was put here in the 19th century. But it definitely comes to mind how the older ones are placed. Was the cemetery always plotted out from beforehand, from before the very first grave marker was put down? Or was it just they were aligned here in the way they are, then cemeteries planned around it? It's an interesting question. We have another obelisk style. Heminger? Or Heminger? Don't know how to pronounce that. Can't really make out the wording on the obelisk itself. That is this. Hey, what's that? Is that Nathaniel Collins? 1892 to 1929? We have Ronald Edward. Beloved infant son, H. Leonard and Helen Lambertson. Born and died April 8th, 1940. Another unfortunate case of, I don't know if that was stillbirth or just tragedy in the operating room or in the nursery. I guess we'll never know about some of these things. There's Dennison, Dovey Dennison Chandler, and Fayette Dennison Sr. Huh. Fayette. Is Fayette a male name? Oh, it's from 1883. So that makes you think about masculine and feminine names and changes over the time. Right. Hello. All right. Just beating some of the people passing by. There's Edwards. This one's also quite artistic and beautiful and weathered. Don't know if that's supposed to be a pulpit or maybe a scroll of some kind. A bit hard to make out. But I think that's the first time I've seen one designed just like that. But we've seen ones designed like this before, this tablet style. Alright. Looks like we have, what's this? Elise Talmadge Lieb, 1922 to 2013. Right. Philanthropist, visionary, writer, civil rights activist. What's this? I run laughing to greet the storm's roar, while great waves dash upon the seawall, splitting their foam, and the hurricane their ashes from the gulf. I have a passion for life, and I desire it all. Mother of Catherine Van Wormer and Flora Templeton Stewart. Flora Templeton Stewart, is that the attorney? I think it might be. Right. Timothy Lee Pike, 1956 to 2019. And Yermonia Yarvin? No, Yavrian. I'm pretty sure I didn't pronounce either of those names correctly. 1922 to 2001. Memory of beloved mother by children. Alright, we're going to go to a bit of a different section. I think, well, actually, I don't know if the shade will let you see this one very well, but this one seems quite grandiose. Let me back up so you can see. Alright, I think that's got the whole thing in shot. It's really quite a beautiful one. Fairly simple design, but grandiose in size. What is this? Lavrenti Rubinovich from 1937 to 2008. Son of Ruben, what's that? Safarov from Gadrut Karabakha and Varara Manokian from Van Aruputu. Again, pretty sure I didn't pronounce any of those words correctly. Right. Yeah, some of these are quite grandiose in their size and design. Either way, it's the older ones that are quite intricate with their sculpture. Not so much a simple gravestone as it is an artistic expression. Let's go to some of the more simple and, I believe, probably some of the more old ones, considering the size of them. Let's see if I can read any of these. Let's try this one. Alright, looks like that's not where it's written. And I'm unable to read anything on it. What? I think it all pointed inward. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to read any of these, so... Well, we can guess how old they are, but they're also just not maintained, so... Some of the ones we've seen earlier from the 1800s, even early 1800s. And yeah, we're still quite clear. Although don't really know if they're just more recent additions, if tombstones have been replaced for some of these families over time, or if they're just really well maintained. But you can see some of the very simple and smaller ones. So I can only guess at their age. And here's one we can read. Alright, that is to the memory of Thomas Jefferson Johnson, January 5th, 1836 to June 29th, 1911. His wife, Sarah Esther Johnson, 1949. No, that would be 1949, that'd be 1849. And the end date is not scratched on. Well, there's another mystery. Wonder if she remarried or simply buried another plot, or if she's right there with them and they never inscribed it for some reason. Again, some very old ones, very damaged ones, and maybe from simple age and weathering, or perhaps vandalism. Some of the ones very close to the road. Doesn't look like this area has been used much, but you can see in recent years. I don't know if you can see it, it's quite dark here. 1895 to 1974. Bobby Lee Cullum. We have Richard Allen Mahone, 1956 to 1969. Just 13 years old. I'm actually 12. It's from November to August. Some of the young ones see it on here are Well, I should say all of the young ones you get on here. It's quite tragic. Some last just a day, some a few years, but man, really goes to show you life can happen and end at any time. Here we have another Van Meter. If you remember from the first episode, that large mausoleum, we found some Van Meters. Wonder if there's something inscribed on this side. There is. Bell Van Meter from 1874 to 1956. Gone but not forgotten. Well, Bell, you're in this video now. See if this can't keep your memory alive a little bit longer. Alright. Plenty of people out and about today. Then again, it's a bit cooler than it was for the last episode. So, got a nice little breeze going. It'll be a good day to be out and about. And what's this? Yeah, I just can't make out the words. It's just a little bit too weathered. Hukendall? I hope that's the way you pronounce that. James Elwood and Eva May. 1874 to 1960 and 1876 to 1944. We have some more obelisks. Again, just seems to be a very popular style, or this was not quite an obelisk. Maybe some sort of flower or sun design. I think it's a flower design. So maybe it's just a tower style. I think that's Earl, son of John, or 1905. And died in 1906. June, I believe. February to June, so got it down a little bit. Gotta work on that camera. Gotta make sure I'm pointing it where I'm looking. Lakey? B-L-A-K-E-Y. Yeah. This one's quite weathered, but still rather nice. Alright. Let's try to go to another section. It's got some interesting structure. It's a small little building. I don't know if it's where you would place ashes or what exactly it's for. Never really looked at it and looked into why it was there, but it's either where caskets are stored, but I guess we'll find out a little bit more when we get to it. As for now, you can take a look around. It is a really nice day out. Some trees, allergies are trying to tell me it's not so nice. Hopefully it's not coming up too much on the camera. And we have yet another tree. It looks like it's in, mid-November. I just don't know what's causing that. Geez, maybe I should have taken some allergy medicine. Jeez. Man, it's starting to kill me. Might have to cut this one a little bit shorter than last time, so I'm glad it's for your primary consumption and not for general consumption. Of course, you can share this whoever you want, but otherwise I might have to learn how to edit. Wouldn't that be a pain? learning that I have to do stuff, so I just carry a phone around. Jeez. Yeah, man. I mean, some of the trees look like they're dying, and I feel like I'm dying. But that's not important. What is important is, other than my need for an antihistamine, it actually feels really nice out here. That's unfortunate, I'm just reacting so poorly to it. But again, since we've decided to make a series of this, and as of this recording, you still haven't come up with a name for it, so I guess you have more of a pointed direction for each episode. I can come back and always go more in depth in each individual section at another time. But we decided to hit the Catholic cemetery this time. It's quite nice. Like I said, some of it's extremely old. I think this might be the oldest of the cemeteries in this area. Not entirely sure, but I might just have to take a look at it. There's looks like another bench, or maybe an altar style gravestone there. But I don't know if you want me to come back for the next episode and get more sections that I didn't go in depth in this one yet, or if you'd like me to move on to another one. Guess you can always get back when I get back. You can, give me some feedback, tell me what you'd like to see going forward. All right, we are almost there. I'm just gonna hop over this thing. All right. Looks like there might be some people visiting, so try to be respectful about it. Also, some really nice trees mixed in. Makes this part this natural barrier from the park. It's just across there. See the trail in a little rest area through the bushes. Kind of like a little secluded place, but here's the building I was talking about. It's pretty nice. Fairly simple design, but as you can see coming in, alright, we actually can look and read this plaque. Right, the chapel, a memorial to the donor families. Robert, could not come close to pronouncing that last name. Ray and Helen, Marty Rita Shea, John L., and Samantha? Or maybe that's just Samantha, just a bit different how I'm used to spell. Probably Samantha, makes more sense. William, Jean, Ruth, Darlene, Motley, and all her family. Well, Darlene, you're the only one whose last name I pronounced. Alright. These are some of the individuals that have come through here, but here's another plaque. See if I can't censor it correctly. Tribute, a memorial to G. Michael Murphy and family. For charitable donation of time, labor, and materials for the above ground interment section in St. Joseph Historic Catholic Cemetery. Respectful, the 2003 to 2010 Board of Directors, St. Joseph Historic Catholic Cemetery. Alright. So above ground interment. So yeah, these are large enough. These would be the caskets. We can see some of these here. Marilyn A., Wallace, loving mother. We have James E. Laurent Gloria J. James Albert Laurent, U.S. Army, Korea. Here we have Angela Sims. A number of these don't have names on them, nameplates, so I'm sure they're reserved. Clean Hep. Mary Elizabeth Durbin, Julian Vance. Julian Vance Durbin was World War II Navy. Yeah. Sherry P. Folkert seems to still be with us. Leon H. Folkert. Betty J. Woodleaf, and John W. Woodleaf. Seems John W. is also Navy in Korea. Alright, Susan A. Moore. Shirley Rose Fulkerson. We have Pat, I'm not really sure what the name is, Salata. There we have Ann Bolt, way up top, and Scott Edward Bolt. We have Paul M. Moore, father of Alexander and Griffin. Douglas Neiman and Brenda. Bob Salata. There's Jeannie Durbin. Surgical team in Vietnam. Norma T. Attis. Yeah, Fanny Sherman. And up top is Steve Bolt. Debbie Goins. Georgia L. Zollinger. Lillian Attis Gibbs. Joseph L. Durbin Jr. was a U.S. Army, Vietnam. Looks like some decorations at the bottom. Some medals. Shirley A. Alimento. Sandra E. Osbo. Robert L. Zollinger. And then up top, we have Dale Goins, who was also Marine Corps Vietnam. If I can get the name, quite a hard shot. Alan G. Freeland, Judith A. Michael S. Osbo, who is U.S. Army. It's Frank S. Salamento. This one's a bit obscured, but D. Darlene Motley. There's Barbara Himmel. Louise Y. Cummings. And up there, you can notice that card. This is Raymond Wilt. There's James B. Cummings, U.S. Navy, World War II. Deacon Bob Emmel, Robert Emmel, U.S. Army, Vietnam. And we have Joe M. Motley. Alright. So one side done. There's, of course, more memorial areas here on that side. But I can come finish this up in the next episode. If you'd like us to continue here at the Catholic Historic Cemetery. All right. See you next time.